Well, good morning and welcome to lesson 9 of A Course in Miracles workbook for students. And my name is Oliver Blue, and it gives me great joy and great pleasure to be with you this morning and to be on this journey with you of, like the introduction says, of mind training. And hopefully, if you've been with us from day one, hopefully you are settling in and relaxing into these exercises and these ideas. There should not be any sense of hurry, definitely no sense of worry. Um, this is an exercise in mind training. However, it is uh, also an exercise in um, practical steps, not separate from the world you live in, but we're actually using the world that you live in to include your relationships, to include the things that you see, the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you feel. And we're using all of those to integrate this training um, that you can feel real comfortable with. And um, remember, the goal is peace. Okay? So, workbook lesson 9 starts by the idea for today is that I see nothing as it is now. Let's close our eyes and just repeat that idea to yourself. I see nothing as it is now. It doesn't say that we don't see, it says that we don't see as it is now, now being the present, this very present moment. And when we say presence, every time we say presence, we're talking about that present moment. Because each moment is a present moment. And now this is a present moment. And anything prior to this present moment, as the Course refers to it, as the past. But we want to see in the present moment. But it says that we see nothing as it is now. Why? Because our minds is not completely trained yet in this systematic way, so that you are seeing with true perception. But we're getting there, one lesson at a time. So again, the idea for today is I see nothing as it is now or as it is in this present moment. I'm looking at it, but I don't see it as it is now. Why? Because the previous message say that I only previous two lessons says because I'm only seeing the past and my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. And that is the reason I see nothing as it is now. I'm only seeing the past. So this idea obviously follows from the two preceding ones, lesson 7 and lesson 8. I only see the past, and my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. But while you may be able to accept this idea that you only see nothing as it is now intellectually, it is unlikely that it will mean anything to you as of yet. However, understanding is not necessary at this point. So at this point in our training, not having understanding of these ideas, that's not important at this point. It doesn't matter. In fact, the recognition that you do not understand is a prerequisite to undoing the false idea. So what's more important is our recognition that we do not understand the ideas. That's most important. That's the prerequisite for our undoing the way we see now. These exercises are concerned with practice. I don't know if you ever played uh, um, on a team, a sporting team, or any kind of team situation where you are a member of the team. And as you know, um, there was two parts of that. There was the practice. You had to go to practice, and then there was a game to be played. Or if it wasn't in sports, there was if you on a team in an office, you have a team and you practice, and then there's a time where there's a presentation to be made, and all of that presentation and the game preceded. I mean, the practice preceded the game in or your presentation of your team. And so, what the focus was uh, before the game was on the practice, not on the game. So here, what it's saying in this workbook lesson is that us practicing the exercise is more important than us understanding the ideas. Okay. At this point, it says that these exercises are concerned with practice, not with understanding. You do not need to practice what you already understand. Because if we understood it, we wouldn't have to do these exercises, we wouldn't have to do the practices. But obviously, we don't. It is quite obvious from the first 7 lessons that the course and the lessons have established um, that we don't understand what we see, we don't understand um, how to see, and we only see the past. And so we don't already understand, because if we already understood, then we wouldn't need to practice to get understanding. So we have to acknowledge that. We have to recognize that. It's almost like you have to be willing to give up what you what we thought to be that which is real, that which is true. As these lessons are bearing out and are bringing out to us, is that we thought we were seeing, but we were not. So we have to be willing to be open, okay? Be open for the learning, for the reversal, for the undoing, because we all want the goal of this lesson, these lessons, which is to undo the way we think that doesn't serve us in reality, that doesn't serve our best interest, and to embrace this uh, way of thinking in reality so that we can um, proceed correctly. Okay. And also um, so that we can remain present and at peace. Those are the gifts. It would indeed be a circular or circular to aim at understanding and assume that you have it already. Okay? So we agree that there's some understanding that we don't have in this exercises in the course is helping us to come to a place of understanding. But we have to recognize that at this point, we don't understand a lot of these ideas that are being brought forth, but that's not important. That doesn't matter right now. Only thing that matters is practicing the exercises. That's it. We practice and we go home. No stress, no, no judgment, no guilt. Okay. It's like taking your body through yoga practice. You just get into different shapes. You get into different positions, and you just allow um, the body to rejuvenate itself in those positions. You just sit with it. Let the body do what it does on its own. And these practices, if we just do the practice, we will begin, and you've already began to feel a shift. It might be a slight shift. For some of us, we may have already had huge shifts in just the first 7 lessons. But shift is occurring as we rest and relax in the ideas and just practice them. Simple as that. It is difficult for the untrained mind to believe that what it seems to picture is not there. It's a difficult idea for the untrained mind to believe that what it sees in a picture is not there. For me to take this object here and say, I don't see this as it is now. I don't see this as it is now. When I'm looking at it, and for me to say, I don't see it as it is now, for an untrained mind, that's hard to understand. But it's true. Because what I'm actually looking at is my association with this container in the past, preoccupied with the past, see only the past. So I'm not seeing it for what it is in this present moment. So I see nothing as it is now. This idea can be quite disturbing and may meet with active resistance in any number of forms. You can actually actively resist this idea that you don't see anything as it is right now. The untrained mind will resist that. Yet, that does not preclude applying it, no more than that is required for these or any of the other exercises. Just because a little resistance rises up about the idea doesn't mean anything. We just apply the idea as the lesson instructs us. No more than that is required for these or any other exercise. Just apply them indiscriminately and without exception. Applies to everything. Each small step will clear a little of the darkness away, and understanding will finally come to lighten each corner of the mind that has been cleared of the debris that darkens it. So as we do the exercises, as we practice them, something happens within our awareness. A shift takes place, and we begin to undo blocks in our awareness for seeing with our eyes and seeing with our thoughts. It's already began. If you are giving yourself to the practice, not to the understanding, to the practice. And it says that darkness or the blockage will eventually be moved away and replaced with sight, understanding, true perception, real vision, seeing things in the present moment versus seeing things through the prism of the past, which means, as we learned in lesson 8, that's not real seeing. These exercises for which 3 or 4 practice periods are sufficient. So today, 3 or 4 practice periods involve looking about you and applying the ideas for the day to whatever you see, remembering the need for its indiscriminate application, meaning everything is open for the application of this idea. We don't exclude anything. And the essential rule of the excluding nothing. That's always our rule. We don't exclude anything. We include everything because what we're understanding in these early lessons is that everything is the same. Just because it's in a different form, it's still the same. Okay? They're all the same. Big, tall, little, big, small, little, short, wide, bright, dull, doesn't matter the form or the characteristics of the form. They're all the same. Everything in that room that you're sitting in right now, if you look around, in reality, is all the same, just different form. It's all energy. Energy just takes on different forms, different shapes, but it's all the same energy. Okay? You're beginning to have a shift in this lesson. I am. For example, applying the idea, you would say, I do not see this typewriter as it is now. I do not see this telephone as it is now. I do not see this arm as it is now. I do not see this remote control as it is now. So regardless of the item, we apply the rule excluding nothing, that we do not see anything as it is now. Begin with things that are near to you and then extend the range outward. So as you do your practice period, look in your immediate area and just indiscriminately choose things to apply the idea. And then you move out further in your peripheral, things that are farther away, and apply the same idea. Why? There is no difference in what you're applying it to. They're all the same. All form is the same in reality. Begin with the things that are nearest and then extend range outward. I do not see that coat rack as it is now. I do not see that door as it is now. I do not see that television screen as it is now. It is emphasized again that while complete inclusion, meaning we include everything, true perception, true seeing, true vision includes everything, it excludes nothing. But we have been trained, our untrained mind has been trained to include some things, exclude some things, be subjective, be respecter of things and thoughts. That's the way of the world. That's the way of the ego. Okay. That everything is separate, but in reality, everything is one. Can you look at the 100 things in your room and see them all as one? Or do you see them all as individual, 100 individual things? Okay, that's the untrained mind. We're bringing that, undoing that idea, okay, which is not real, to the real idea of all things on one. It takes a disciplined mind to get to that. I know we're getting there. It says, it is emphasized again that while complete inclusion should not be attempted, specific exclusion must be avoided. We don't exclude anything. Be sure that you are honest with yourself in making this distinction. You may be tempted to obscure it or cover up the distinction. We cannot make exceptions to applying these ideas to anything or any form, including people, including thoughts, including emotions, sensations, events, experiences. You can apply the idea to every form that there is. That really simplifies things. That way you don't have to judge anything, but you perceive it all as all one, all the same. That really simplifies things versus the way we've been trained to think and to see, that we see it all as the same. Wow. Well, thank you so much. That's the end of our practice for today. Our lesson for today and the idea for today. Complete the workbook lesson and complete the practices by applying the idea 3 or 4 times during your day. Have a blessed day. And we'll see you in this room for lesson 10. Bye-bye.